For centuries, sacred art tried to show us what the divine looked like: faces, bodies, halos, heavens. But in the early 20th century, one artist asked a radical question: what if the spiritual world cannot be pictured at all? What if faith is not something we see, but something we feel, hear, and experience beneath the surface of reality? This is the world of Wassily Kandinsky, an artist who believed abstraction could become a form of spiritual language. Wassily Kandinsky was born in Moscow in 1866 into a culturally rich but spiritually searching world. Remarkably, he did not begin his artistic career as a painter. He studied law and economics, and by all accounts, he was successful. But at the age of 30, Kandinsky experienced two encounters that changed everything. Hearing Wagner's Lohengrin, where music seemed to dissolve physical boundaries, seeing a Monet painting he could not immediately recognize. For the first time, Kandinsky realized that meaning did not require representation. Shortly afterward, he abandoned law and committed himself fully to art. Kandinsky lived at a moment of profound upheaval. Science was reshaping reality. Industry was reshaping society. Traditional religion was losing cultural authority. Many artists responded with cynicism or rebellion. Kandinsky responded with spiritual urgency. He believed modern humanity had lost touch with the inner life, and that art could help restore it. But not religious art in the traditional sense. Something deeper was required. Kandinsky was deeply influenced by Theosophy, a spiritual movement that sought hidden unity beneath all religions. Theosophy taught that reality exists on multiple spiritual planes. Human consciousness is evolving. Symbols, vibrations, and color reflect unseen truths. These ideas resonated powerfully with Kandinsky. He became convinced that the material world was only the outer shell of a deeper spiritual reality, and that abstraction might be the most honest way to approach it. Not by depicting God directly, but by evoking spiritual experience. In 1911, Kandinsky published Concerning the Spiritual in Art, a manifesto that would redefine modern painting. He argued that color was not decorative. It was psychological and spiritual. Blue, he said, draws the soul inward toward the eternal. Yellow pushes outward, restless, earthly, unstable. Red carries weight, power, and intensity. Black suggests silence and endings. White holds pregnant stillness, possibility. To Kandinsky, colors functioned like musical notes. Paintings were not images. They were compositions, meant to resonate internally, not explain externally. Around 1910, Kandinsky made a decision that would change art history. He stopped painting recognizable objects altogether. Lines, shapes, colors, and rhythms became the subject. Many viewers were baffled, some were hostile. But Kandinsky believed abstraction freed art from material distraction, allowing it to speak directly to the soul. Faith was no longer illustrated. It was experienced. Later in his career, especially during his time at the Bauhaus, Kandinsky's work became more geometric. Circles, triangles, and lines were no longer spontaneous, but intentional. To Kandinsky, geometry reflected cosmic order. The circle, he believed, was the most spiritual form of all, complete, unified, infinite. Even here, abstraction remained devotional, not chaotic, but disciplined. A visual theology without words. Kandinsky was not a traditional Christian, yet his work remained deeply concerned with transcendence, inner awakening, and spiritual ascent. He believed art could elevate consciousness. Beauty could awaken moral responsibility. The invisible mattered more than the visible. In an age skeptical of belief, Kandinsky offered a faith without images and spirituality without idols. Today, abstraction is everywhere, in galleries, design, worship spaces, and digital culture. Much of it traces back to Kandinsky. His influence extends beyond art history into music, architecture, and spiritual aesthetics. He asked a question that still matters. Can art help us sense what we can no longer name? Wassily Kandinsky believed the divine could not be captured, only encountered. That faith might move not through images, but through vibration, through color, through resonance. In a world saturated with images, Kandinsky invites us to feel again and to listen for meaning beneath the surface. This is Divine Imagination. Click subscribe to catch the next episode in this 10-part series. What faith-inspired art speaks to you? Continue the conversation below or at Patheos.com.